I'll just fake it like I do every other day.
Fake it like you do every other day.
That's right.
The question we posed to Corey is, did you listen to the last couple episodes? He says no. Well, that's good, because hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Abomination Vaults. We are in Book 1, and we are in the dungeon. We're out of the dungeon. We are in the dungeon. We're out of the dungeon. But I honestly feel that it's kind of annoying to like be in and out. I get it. But the town is there for you guys just so that you don't grind yourself down in hit points and health and resources and be trapped, right? Now, we've had some weird stuff going on. Looking at Corey, okay? Corey right now has Anvil Bender free. Drew has his original Halfling free. We still don't have Grogtot. Joseph Davis's characters is still down there. We have Kragga, who just looked and went, right, this is my new clan, my new party, I'm your boss. That's right. Sorry, Gregor, the half-elf gets stepped aside. Eric goes from mainline back to cameoing and type of thing, and, because he was original cast, type of thing. Troy put down the goblin and picked up Kenro, just so we all can keep up here. So the main question is, a lot of us are hanging around the temple. I'm still trying to get Spiegler to drink this Kool-Aid. Like, he's really warming up to my orc cleric, Brother Green type of thing, and you guys are going sermons. We've got Ken, charming as he is, camped out and doing sermons of a rival faith, which they are using as a comparison. And then we've got Gregor, who has this real hard-on for this town sage. And if you guys remember last time, we all rounded everybody up. You guys marched down the town sage, tried to use Kragga's save the town status to get information from him, to get an advance of money, or what, I was listening back to some of it, and it's like, what was the actual objective, guys? Like, what did you want from this guy besides believe that, Kragga is the real deal and he should kiss your feet? Like, what was the end game there, Gregor?
Hopefully we're getting a discount somewhere so we can get some healing potions and implements, scrolls and whatnot at a lesser price.
Did you ask if he actually even sells this stuff?
Yes, we did.
Do you know if he does?
And or if he could, and if he didn't, if he could grant us
A letter of introduction?
a writ for somewhere else that...
Wouldn't that be funny if he gave you like an introduction to the blacksmith going, Mr. Blacksmith. And the funny part is Kragga actually has the backstory that they're friends, right? And you have this rival business guy going, I respect these guys and you should give them a discount. We were talking about diplomacy, Corey, and you missed a comment where the only true attempts at diplomatizing, especially for discounts, were done by you. First, you tried to shake down Kragga's friend, the blacksmith, and then second, you tried to shake down my mare. So I said both kind of fell flat. This time, coerced everyone into this big dynamic of story and role play and a whole bunch of roles in the tower, and then we said, we'll see you next week. So these buggers are still grinding their teeth at me at this very moment, Corey, and audience, wondering the results. So I'm just going to call up old Morlibin here. One moment, please. But picture the scene. It's the man's shop. Coffee and cookies have nearly been exhausted 3 times over as he constantly reserves and tries to get every piece of information that isn't being publicized or hoarded by a certain bard. You guys remember Jargon Whitmore? His initial place in this was to kind of show the town from a bard's perspective, and he interviewed you guys, claiming to write a book. Right? Now, unbeknownst to you, perhaps he's looking for a publisher. Perhaps, the whole town seems to know who you are, right? But it's not like you have people singing songs about you like in The Witcher, Spare a coin for our anvil bender. Once a month, Corey will come and play him. That kind of thing. They're not, we're not at that point yet. You're not that famous, but everyone definitely nods, steps aside, But that's original. That's OG. Not the new party. So now we've got our they're walking around with, I want to say Prince or Michael Jackson. They're walking around with Kragga here, trying to get the goodwill rubbing off them. I will say this. You have definitely used your diplomacy to make an impression, and the impression is positive. Now, whether or not you got him all the way up to, helpful remains to be seen. So after story time, right, I want to know, is it Gregor that comes forward and starts strongly hinting and showing half-stitched Gregor? Last episode was called Kragga the Surgeon, by the way. Half-stitched. Big red yarn. Looks good to an orc, but to a human, it's like, oh my god. Right? What's your approach and angle here, Gregor? Did I mention the entire party? None of them are actually trained diplomacy, except for maybe Kenro Troy, who actually leans on deception, or am I wrong?
I have to check it out and see. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure no one has actually trained diplomacy.
Jargon Whitmore's the only one with diplomacy.
Yeah, he's in the wind.
Yeah, I think I have deception. Yeah.
Okay. So, party, players, Gregor, Eric. He's heard you out. He seems in a really good mood by the end of all this, and we're out of tea and cookies. But I am a businessman, and I politely wait because I know something's coming.
Well, wouldn't you like the story to continue? Have Kragga maybe endear you once a week with more tales? This was just your sampler. We can provide more, not only stories, but actual goods. We've told you that already. We've showed you, we've proven that to you already, and now we've bolstered our numbers. So, now knowing that we have Kragga with us, knowing that we're going to succeed, you must be surely more ventured to put some money towards helping the cause. Not necessarily liquid funds, but you could help us. If it's not here, then maybe through barter. You must have some type of goods that you can offer someone else, or a service.
Intriguing. What is it that you had in mind specifically that I might have, or be able to get my hands on through my connections?
Mainly if you can provide some form of keeping us healthy either through alchemical means or
I can acquire potions, but as your middleman, I'm afraid that the cost, you could probably get them cheaper if you work out a deal with the temple, though I could give you better than what that stargazer would charge people in the marketplace. He scoffs and rolls his eyes. Doesn't seem very popular. Doesn't seem very happy that there's a tent marketplace, like a flea market in the middle of respectable businesses where you come down to the shop where I live and I have a home and pay lease and rent, as opposed to putting up a pup tent in the park and just, discount bargain prices. Not a fan. No, he's not. So it's hard to compete with said discount prices, and that, though he said, yeah, I could do them better. But if you come across items, a puzzle, even ancient writing on a wall, he's talking about his sage services and stuff.
Goes without saying. That's yours. You'll have first dibs.
No, I mean perhaps glyphs on a door that you're hesitant to touch. Sketch it, bring it back. I can tell you what it is before you touch it. I'm looking at Frog Boy. I think I see Ranger or Foreigner. I don't see Rogue, right? So I look at you guys. None of you guys look like, I mean, this guy's old school. I'm expecting an Errol Flynn mustache. There's the Rogue. He's in leather armor.
Defer to the rest of the party. Anything you guys want before we head back down?
No, I'm not saying I can't get you potions and I can't give you a deal. Yes and yes. But he likes you so much, he's actually saying, yeah, but you actually would be better off trying to, work the clerics and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay.
I wanted to ask him about a silver drake, or a drake that dwells in the lair underneath the dungeon, through the cave entrance. See if you knew anything about that.
I would need time. He would have to go through. Now, do you guys actually have Roseguard lore? Or actually Fogfen lore, anything like that? Because he has... He doesn't have the lore, or if he does, like, he would go research and see if there's, oh, look, you know, the Roseguard fought something or made mention of something and, you know, that kind of thing.
I rolled a 19 for 14 plus 5 for lore Otari. Maybe I remember like a title of a specific book for him to reference.
Okay. Since you are trained, and next time I get you to put that in the tower there speaks, you are certain that you have a good grasp of the lore around here and nothing about a green drake. So you talk to another expert, and he's kind of stumped, but he's not hopeless. Like, I would need time. Like, I would need days to go through, you know what I mean? Because this is some pretty obscure, like from DM to player, and that's a big if I just roll from now, it would be no. Off the top of his head, one random monster that happens to have a name in the dungeon that no one's gone to, and everyone thought was picked over, and now you guys go there going, holy shit, this dungeon's active. And then all of a sudden, the freaking 500-year-old lighthouse beams up our ancestor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's reeling, right? So this knowledge would not be ready to him going, oh yeah, that's Barbara the Drake. She comes down and has muffin. Like, the lore might be there, but it's very removed from their common knowledge. So if you put him on it, and again, no guaranteed results, he would use the research system and see if there's something obscure. Because a DC for a specific name of a specific creature that dwells in a specific space for how long. Now, he can tell you how long a drake lives. Right? How big was it? Was it male? Was it female? How many pseudopods, looks like Nessie, the flippers, dinosaur flippers, how many of those did it had? How long was the tail? Did you cut open and count the rings?
Do you have some sort of device that I could capture its image, or you could see through my eyes?
You
like some sort of magic.
You single-handedly wrestled the creature, and he looks at Dubsy, suddenly doubting Dubsy's grand story about how you're the hero of everything. Surely, here, he says. He steps forward, looks way up at you, right? How tall am I? You could kind of guess by looking down at him. You know how tall you are, right? Surely you could give me an estimate,
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
A device to capture an image, that would be an artist. And I don't think you could con any of them going in there. Now, again, Gregor, big wink, if you want to pull artwork out of there, I'm your guy. I'll buy that with a pretty penny.
I know you book reading types, like magic and stuff. Like, is there some sort of magic that you could look at my memories, into my mind?
I'm not that high level. I mean, this is not that high level campaign. I mean, no. But he says, I would like you to have this. And now this is an item he carries on him personally. So it's personal stash. I'm so impressed. And he hands you a vial. I want you to have this to continue the fight. You see Gregor's eyes go like, oh, there it is. Big fat potion of healing. And it's gone.
Am I supposed to drink this now? Am I supposed to drink this now?
No. If you for the battle, it will help cure your wounds.
Oh, right.
The next time you go back and lead the charge, and
Ken, hold on to this.
You guys have painted him to be Hercules and friends, right? Oh, I want Hercules to have a healing potion, the one I've always carried. Here you go. Could you sign it for me and bring me back the empty vial after you actually drink it? And I could tell all my friends that this is the potion that he drank to save the day, that kind of thing. It's almost like Gregor's approach has worked a little too well. He's focusing on you. Now, speaking of Gregor, while these two are rambling on, Gregor, you want to step aside with your party? You were asking them about the consensus.
Yeah, just seeing, just seeing if what else we could possibly do here to kind of bolster our chances of getting through. So if we can't go the Drake way, what's the alternative?
The way you guys came out?
Got the shadow manager person, whatever. And we know how to potentially take care of it with some light spells on our weapons.
Those light spells seem to work very well, and that's what my research said would be best.
We beat its flunky or whatever that came out of, I don't know, what's his name? I mean, it won't kill him, right? If we killed the shadow of him.
We're not really sure of that. The shadow ran away. We didn't kill the last shadow.
That'll be fine.
Hey, listen, I'm with you, my friend. I want that shadow thing as dead as, well, as dead as dead can be, I guess. If the shadows really die. I don't really know.
Meanwhile, across town, back at the actual cathedral, Cognual, Mr. Anvilbender, you are free. You're naked. You know, you're dressed in rags kind of thing, but you are free.
Free.
You are free from that torture. You're free, right? Now, Kragga seems to have a brand new gaggle of party and friends, and he seems very chummy with the clerics all of a sudden. And they're walking him around, whispering Serenray in his ear, and he seems to be lapping it up. Now, you have recently researched this library and got into Torag. Though the library itself is open to all, they do have a temple specifically devoted to the sun goddess of healing and sunshine, Serenray. That part of the whatever you haven't really been in. You've been in, and then these guys are all like, oh, hey, we'll help. Come with us. They drag you down to the acolytes' rooms, and they patch you up.
Excellent.
And you try to patch yourself up. And I think as a joke, since everyone had pen and needle and they were doing fairly okay, I switched to you and you said, no, don't want none of that orc stitches. I'll do it myself. And you went, nope, fail. At least you didn't hurt yourself. So you're sitting at 14 wounds, right?
Nice.
Yeah. They all helped each other and then they all went off. And they're doing town things and they're wandering around after a big scene in the cathedral. And now here they are down at the local sage, leaving you behind. So my question for you, Corey, is the same I'd asked Drew. Your other character is unconscious and will remain so until something happens specifically I have in mind. Would you like to stay in Cognual's brain, or would you really, really, really like me to focus on the discombobulation of a certain person that's lost his shadow?
Well, it kind of sounds like fun that if we switch over to the shadow lost person.
Okay.
So shall we do that?
All right. Put a pin in that for a second. In that case, I want to clean up Cognual and I want to know what his plan is. What are you going to do with him?
Well, I think that Cognual needs to take his time and heal and maybe study with the sage or spend the time researching more of what might be going on.
Okay. Here would be the place. And if you just want to take a back seat like Jargon the NPC Bard or Karam or whatever, hang out in the temple, as a town hero, they will give you, they won't feed you, but they will give you a place to stay, lay your head, and you have free access to the library. So if you want to have Cognual here, we could literally have Cognual here, maybe even with Karam, sort of doing those days and weeks of research.
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Cool. Anyway, and though the party might be on a different bent about exactly what to research, you're in there, and I'm assuming you're looking at the general stuff you've experienced, like the Morlocks, and the little Misfit King, and because there's two kings in there now. You were approached by both of them, right? Cut a deal with both. Top king, little Misfit guy says, get rid of the Morlock, and the Morlock guy says, go get rid of my problem, and then everything went sideways. You get captured. Sorry, you get captured, then he gave you the ultimatum of help me or die, and then you got rescued.
Well, then we should do some more research on finding out what we can find out about all of these people.
It's a bit of a cheat, but
discover their weaknesses.
Yeah. So how about that? So you can it is proper that the party like run around and do their own frontlining, But it would be kind of cool if we used both Karam and you sort of in the background, and when they come out of the dungeon, they'd be like, "Poke, hey, did you learn anything?" No, the timer's still on in 3 days, go away. But, you know, at least the party doesn't have to like stop for 3 to 10 days to like just find out one thing before they decide to go back in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a way I'm figuring that could make things possibly go quicker, but I'm probably going to let Karam and Cognual decide what it is being researched and what is being researched first, as opposed to you just like, oh, I found exactly what the party we want, you know what I'm saying? It'll be helpful. Yeah, it'll be helpful. But now you're still chummy with Kragga. I'm sure you still want to get healed up and maybe get it back in there and test your metal, but you've been stripped of your belongings, all your favorite discs, you know, your ego's taken a hit. You've been tortured. You've been, you know, you're so yeah, little spa time here at the temple and library. It makes sense, you know.
You know, some time for some healing, maybe some time for some little side jobs to find some clothes.
Mm-hmm.
A little more fitting than the burlap sack with many, many holes that you've got me dressed in.
Well, the temple will actually clothe you in robes if you'd like to wear some acolyte robes of Sarenrae.
What are you talking about? A monk like Cognual only needs robes and the dew off a ginkgo leaf, right?
True.
Like the great dragon warrior.
True, but Dragon Warrior right now is like down to his civvies and there's no ginkgo leaves in sight, so
I would happily accept the acolyte robes.
yeah. Like he went with you guys to the temple, right? He didn't even wash. They just wiped the wound, stitched it, and you went, nope, I'll do it myself. And then he just wandered to the library. So whatever prisoner, unwashed, smelly, 4-day, 6-day state he was in, he's sitting in the library like that right now going, I'm going to help by researching.
Wow.
Because he's
I definitely think we need to arrange to be cleaned up.
Oh, okay. I was saying, because you're the town hero, no one's going to like, well, give him some time, you know. Is he the crazy one? I thought the Red Hobgoblin was the crazy one. Which brings us to the halfling. Drew, are you down with this plan?
Yeah, I think that was the plan. Karam would stay in the library and just kind of research. He really wants to research everything he can before making any other further attempts, because he got hosed last time.
Yeah, okay. Now, trying to keep things up in time, getting back to Mr. Shadow is going to be a bit spooky. So we got a little bit of time left. I just want to cap off what we're doing here with Morlibin, because Eric has gone at this guy like 2 or 3 times. And I'm not dragging my feet. I'm just looking for the golden roll here. Anyway.
I think Eric's done with Morlibin.
I think Eric's done with my version of Morlibin as a DM. Disgusted with.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was just looking for a way that I could potentially earn income later as a scribe.
Now, I will say this. You get him talking, and the more you tell him of your wants and needs, he has ideas, he has options. I won't drag this out with a bunch of more RP on my side, but he is interested in anything you see. And if you can't, like glyphs, art, if you can't remove it, sketch it. Even if it's a rough whatever. Because that would be like, you know, he believes if Kragga sketches a stick figure of a guy, and then you guys say, well, it kind of looked like this, but it had flowing hair, and it was a dark elf of so-and-so, Morbin's going to believe you, because it's a first account from someone that he knows, as opposed to a bunch of novice adventurers going, I don't know, it had 6, and you guys are arguing, it had 6 tentacles, no, it had 7, no, it bit me, no, it you know what I mean? So even though that's a first-hand account, right, you guys have really convinced him that Kragga, you know, is reputable, right? So he's very inclined to believe not everything Kragga says, but you know what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. You came along secondhand. Have you been in the dungeon? No. Are you one of the heroes? No. But I'm going to get you all the art. Okay, keep talking. You know, right? Throwing your weight around like your original gangster. And now that you've caught up with a couple of them, and it's like, okay, yeah. So he's nice to everybody. Town Sage, you know, magic, whatever, this type of thing. I can get you potions at a discount, yeah. And especially because it's good to say they only get their stuff here. and this is my price. You want discount on my stuff? You want my knowledge, a discount or free? Yada, 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 yada. You deal with me and no one else. No bards, no this, no that, and especially no flea market stargazers. You come to me first with everything. Yes? If I hear that you guys are wandering around the marketplace showing scrolls and glyphs to that woman, then the deal's off.
No, any artwork, any written work will come to you, but anything
Are
that
we here
doesn't
for this
necessarily
as well?
fall in your wheelhouse won't come to you first.
Yeah. No, actually, I would like everything. Because, she could use maybe coming down off of her high perch a little bit if I was the one to bring her some kind of, map of the heavens kind of thing, as opposed to you just dropping in her lap. Don't worry, I'll make sure...
That's not just for me to decide. That'll be up to the group it'll be a group decision. But for now, know that you'll have first dibs at the written work.
Like I said, those are my conditions, gentlemen. You go think about it. And trust me, the town talks about you guys ceaselessly. I will know if you go to other people. So he wants everything first. And if he can't, and he at least wants to, he's polite about it. He does also say that if I can't help you, I will direct you to the right person. As in, like, maybe he wants to do a fellow business person a favor and going, we'll take your business to this guy. Or that person. There's lots of people in town with overlapping skill sets.
Okay, then presented in that light, it's not so bad. Granted that we get the same benefits when we visit their shops.
Well, whatever deal you have with them does not concern me, and I'll respect your privacy as long as it does not break our accord. So, gentlemen, do we have an accord?
I don't think so.
I think that's asking quite a bit when we've already done deals with another person in town for.
That's what I thought.
We'll have to discuss it amongst ourselves, and we'll get back to you.
How about this, my friend? I have a vial here of some mysterious blood that we found down there, and I don't know what it is.
Have
Can
you
I
brought
give you
it?
that as a goodwill grace for things that we're going to be doing further?
If you prove to us that you can identify this, then we can think more about our deal.
Let me put it this way, he says,
Yes.
reaching for the vial.
No.
Yeah. Do you want me to identify it or not?
If you can identify this, it gives us more faith that maybe you can come true on the part of the deal you're telling us.
May I see it?
Back and forth here, and I'll hand it to him and see what he can do with it.
Okay. He doesn't begin identifying right away. He holds
Now,
it
this
up.
is the vial of that substance we found underneath the lighthouse itself. Remember, there was the blood pool, and then we went upstairs and we did the fight, but then it was a flashback, and we didn't do the
Exactly.
fight after all.
Okay.
This is the blood that was on the ground there.
Okay. So he says, all I'm asking is, did you take this to anyone else? Has it been analyzed?
It hasn't gone anywhere else but you.
Okay. Perhaps I should explain in more depth. Kragga. Would you take your weapons to be sharpened yourself? Would you buy the equipment to sharpen your weapons? Or would you take them to someone you trust? Or would you take them to the best raid in town, trusting that they would do an adequate job? And imagine if you did. Times are tough. A lot of ventures are coming out of there naked, I get it. Imagine if, because of your short means, had to go to someone that possibly wasn't the expert, but still a reputable weapons dealer, blacksmith, or what have you. They sharpen your weapon. Imagine you, next time, taking that weapon to the trusted friend or the expert when you finally could afford him. What is that person going to say? He's going to look at the blade and said, who else has been working on this but me?
There's too many words in this. What is it? What are you trying to tell me right now?
The less hands, the more focus, the skill on an item, a person, or a deal, he says at Gregor, the better benefit to both parties. If you share it all around, looking for a deal or fast results, well, he says, the results, I think, may cost you far greater in the end. turns back to Troy. Right?
Yes.
Waves you over to a table, right? Clears some stuff off, right? Puts the vial down, disappears in the back room where he can work, comes back with some equipment, parchment paper, yada, yada, yada. Shows you how he cleanly, sanitizingly, gloves, the whole bit, okay? Takes a moment, checks out the actual vial. This vial is yours? Or did you actually find the vial?
It was one we brought with us. I might have got it from it.
And where did you get it?
I don't remember.
Okay. He talks about the glass. Have you ever drank water from colored glass?
I'm going to stop you right now because if you are actually going into a lot of detail about how amazing that you are, and
Not
that's
at all.
fine. I can understand a chain of command just fine and a chain of evidence as well. I want to know if you can do this job properly. Test the vial now and let us know what it is. And after that, we'll discuss this chain of evidence and chain of handling. Because I understand the meanings you're getting to, but it is an awfully long description to say, I'm going to test this for you. Let's work on that, and we'll backtrack to the chain of command, to this chains of who are holding the stuff and how it gets to you. But let's do this one test first before we discuss all the other sidebars. What is in the file?
He shrugs. He shrugs. He plays with it. He tests it. He takes out a very small sample, and he actually does things to the sample. Slightly heats it, cools it, adds substance to it, and he says, I believe that this is actually blood. However, it has been tampered with before I did. Before I've tampered with it. This is actually blood, but not fresh blood.
Okay, those are things that we knew already.
Okay.
So right now you're on par with that?
It's not human blood.
Okay.
Where did you get it?
Well,
The more I know, the more I can tell you.
well, we've been discussing a certain area since we've come
Shall I
here.
blindfold you and walk you to the edge of town and have you tell me what types of trees are there? The more you tell me, the more I can tell you. Where did you get the blood?
It's from the ruins.
From a creature directly? Did you wipe it off of a weapon?
There
that
was
you
a pool
stabbed?
of blood on the floor under the lighthouse itself.
He stops cold. His eyes widen. Really? He looks back at the blood and starts doing all kinds of, as quickly as he can, since he seems to know your patience is wearing thin. Quickly as he can, a bunch of tests to it. This is remarkable. This blood has been completely changed in state. It's infused. He goes off, drinks an actual potion, comes back with an item, and plays with it over top of the actual blood itself, and says, I believe that this possibly was human blood, but now it has been altered drastically. Alchemically, or possibly even with negative energy.
Yeah, these are definitely, that lines up with some of the forces that we're dealing with in the dungeon.
Now, everything you guys have witnessed, you could have speculated that. He knows nothing. He hasn't been there, hasn't seen what you've seen, hasn't felt your willies or whatever, but his tests are affirming what you guys were only merely guessing at.
Yes.
And if that's worth something to you, we could further said deal. If you guys think he's all for show or whatever and that type of thing, that's up to you.
Do you see now though why it's important for us to stop whatever it is that's happening in that dungeon? Because this town's in danger if we don't.
I do, and I will help you what I can. But if I were to hand over all my services for free, which you all seem to strongly imply, or a 50% discount, I would be out of house and home inside of a month.
Would a better negotiation or deal be for you that if we were to come to you to use your services, and we brought something specifically for you at those times, would we then receive a discount for those services at that time? Rather than just a standing agreement, if we come to see you and say, hey, we have something really nice for you, but we need this in exchange, is that a better agreement?
Sure.
Because promising you the moon, when all right now we're going for the stars, it might not actually happen.
I'm only asking for the first date to gaze upon the moon with you, not the moon itself. But I understand what you're saying.
First dates can go very, very far. So
I agree.
let's just talk about one night, one moment. We will come to you after we've gone through the dungeon. We will bring you anything interesting that we think would be up your alley. But In exchange for that item, we'll take your services. That's how this deal should go down. We're not going to bring you everything, give you everything, and give you open access to everything, because we don't even know what your intentions are. My intentions are to get into that dungeon, kill that shadow bitch, and get back up here with my friends alive, and maybe find out what else is happening in that darn lighthouse.
I am running a business.
I can't promise you everything.
I'm running a business.
Yes.
It's plain and simple. Those are my intentions. Services for barter or cash.
So what we're saying is we're not going to bring you
favorable prices to, people that have obviously served the town. Looks at Kragga, But intimidation, he says. And he looks at Gregor. He says, although this one is far more interesting than your previous bolstering when I met you alone, he says probably won't get you very far. And gentlemen, if you feel you can do better elsewhere, I won't be offended. But I have a strong inkling that you will come back here.
And there's never been intention to offend. But it's a matter of we're discussing, right, as I said, we're discussing the travel to the stars right now. And right now we're building the rocket ship. We want to just do step one.
No, let's not get into too much detail, as you said. Gentlemen, go and think about my offer, and think about this fine fellow's counter offer, and then come back to me. I do have other clients, and I must get working on
I'm standing
this.
in the door holding it open.
If I can keep this sample, I would like to work more on it. I believe there's more to tell here that I could tell you.
Sample is yours as a gesture of good faith.
And I will devote my, free time to it. Like, I actually have to, run the business, clean, blah, blah, blah. But you can tell he really wants to spend time on this.
You've told us a lot of things we can speculate. If you come back and you tell us something that we don't know, is when we'll know we're dealing with the right person.
And what happens if there's nothing else to know?
At least we've known you've done a thorough discovery of the object. It is yours. You can let us know everything about it. And that's how we'll leave it for now, and we'll see you in another day or so.
If you wish.
Everyone good with that? Gregor?
Me.
Kragga?
Let's go see if we can find some potions.
Excellent. On our way, friends. Sir?
Okay.
I appreciate your help. Thank you.
I didn't catch your name.
Oh, you can call me Ken, my friend.
Ken. He says he looks you up and down. No last name, no adventuring title?
You can learn that at another time. Stick with Ken for now. My friends call me Ken.
He smiles at you. A pleasure.
Have a wonderful day.
You guys all head out?
And that's it. That's what
Okay. Is anyone going to relieve Dubsy of half the shit he stole? Because that was a lot of distracting of the guy.
I'm waddling out. Ken, I didn't know you were such a ladies' man.
I'm not trying to ruin your deal with this guy, but it suddenly occurred to me that Ken really, really, really got his attention. Well, always fun dealing with another man of intellect, even if he's annoying. But no, I kid. I don't know if you'd be actually tempted with that, Drew.
He probably doesn't have anything I would want, to be honest. But I always love a good distraction.
All right.
Doesn't matter what it is. It's just the act of stealing gives you.
He's just wandering around touching shit, right? He's looking at stuff, rearrange the guy's shelves. This shouldn't be here.
Sticks to my finger. I try to shake it off.
He's just wrecking the place behind you. All right. Back. Sorry, go ahead.
Do we want to still try to grab more potions before we go? We don't want to go back in the dungeon without some.
You could have bought some here before things got a little negotiable, shall we say? He would have sold some on the spot. He would just advise, going, "Yeah, I could give you a discount. You might actually get a bit." I liked you so much, not only saying, "Hey, dude, the potions are $1, and I'll only charge you 80 cents. But I like you so much. I think if you go to the temple, because I know you're a hero, you could probably even get a better deal from them." And things just kind of went sideways. I think they took that as like him stalling or not being endearing. So I think it's hilarious that after you guys have cemented some sort of loose relationship, you step out and the first thing Kragga goes going, potions. Well, you got one on the house, dude, because you're a hero, and I like the,
I definitely misinterpreted because I thought he was like a book guy and didn't have potions, and he was going to go to someone to get them for us.
He's a book guy, but after a zombie apocalypse, whoever was selling potions sold out in a day. And the only people that can afford potions are guys like me. And I even started carrying one on my person. I'm very fond of it. I named it Margaret, and now I gave it to you. Be good to Margaret. Only use her in emergencies. Now I got some blood to play with. Anyway, the cathedral.
Yeah, no, that was the issue initially. We just didn't have the coin available for potions.
Yeah. So getting back to the cathedral, Corey.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to ask these fine fellows what they did with your body, because I don't remember. Gauze's body.
That went to the temple as well, I believe.
Yes, and who's caring for it?
They kind of the people at the temple took it off our hands. We kind of never came back to it.
And you've asked what to be done with this body: disposal, resurrection for an absorbent fee, recycled.
We said feed him to the fishes.
You guys are so nice.
Kragga.
Looking at my notes,
Gauze was your guy. You and Jargon and Dubsy, right? Went in.
Come on, guys.
He was
Please
Kragga.
tell me you just didn't feed me to the-
He was your guy. So, what would you have done with the body? He's not dead. He's in a coma.
Hey, listen.
Then most assuredly taken him to the library, the Dawnflower Temple.
Okay.
Find
He
my
probably was
body.
just laying in the infirmary right now.
Yeah, we probably would have left him with Brother Gray, right?
And you asked him to be cared for? And it was you that did the asking?
This all kind of happened at the same time that Kragga was brought back there, right? So I don't.
We want to put the Kragga stamp on everything that we can.
Well, it was the same time we brought Kragga back with Gauze's body, did we not?
Trying to get freebies for every little thing and free healthcare. And Kragga came in carrying the party. So please sort all this out. No, it's fine. I tease. I'm sure they were asked, and Buddy was taken to the infirmary, and you guys asked for him to be cared for, and he was rescued. He was part of the rescue party that went in to get out the OG party. So the dude's got some credibility, even if he's unconscious. Right? But we're not running a charity here. Like, we love Kragga, we're looking after Kragga, and you guys get some free room board. Ken's got a side deal or whatever. There's what you call long-term care. They look him over, they have people examine him in a day. If you guys go asking about him, they'll say, yes, he's in a coma, we don't know for how long.
Why do I get the feeling this is going to be some defunct old age home?
Maybe it's Gauze that gives them the idea going, we could make money off this. You just got to lay them over there and
I'm going to be malnourished and not well taken care of and beaten by the attendants. You guys are so good to me. You just wait. I'm going to come and kick you in the shins. Really, really hard.
Gauze has shin dreams when he's in a coma. So anyway, who would come back?
Come on, guys, can you not hear me?
So I have a note here that we pulled Gauze's body along with a human corpse to the surface and then the town. We returned to Gauntlight, but then nothing afterwards.
Did you guys not take the corpse back to the guild?
I think it was one of those discussed options.
Oh,
no
no.
one did an episode at the same time.
We had Cognule do that because I remember I had Cognule take some of the money from Dubsy. Remember Dubsy's like, I was trying to get paid for the rogue number 4 and Cognule was with you and he got paid.
Great. Neither one of my characters know where each other are because you had the guy, who wasn't here, he carried the other guy who wasn't here off to somewhere and you just dropped him. Who knows? I'm in an old age home not being taken care of. I know.
What are you talking about? Cognule, I just paid you cash, dude. You can pay for that bath now.
Well, okay, I'll give you that.
Did I mention you're unconscious? Roleplay that.
So sorry. So I have returned to Gonlight. Then we lined up on the stairs to go back to the boardroom area. Weapons are lit, all healed up, no enfeebled conditions. So we did leave him at the church.
No, I know. I just didn't know what the instructions were. Like, they're like, take care of him. They're like, okay. Oh, he's asleep. He'll wake up any minute now,
He hit his max time allotted to stay, so they just kind of pushed him out into the sunlight. He's like, where is everybody?
Drew on my face with a Sharpie.
He's got the dotted lines that the corpses they sell to medical students, ready for, ready to be cut up. Like, there's like a couple of pigs, where they got the heart and then they got gauze lying there. Anyway.
My appendix are missing, whatever else.
Okay, so eventually, especially Kragga circles back inside the same day, probably hours from now. So I'm going to play that. But they will come back and will probably inquire about you. I need to establish this. Yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what is actually happening now, Gauze, I actually want to go back in time to a battle. A battle where Robot You, played by me, bravely sacrificed your ass. I mean, held the line.
Great. So what you're saying is I'm suffering from PTSD?
No, you fought. You fought.
That's good. Yay!
You fought
thumbs
something.
Up. 2 thumbs up.
You fought something toe to toe, the likes of you've never seen in the jungle, in Alkenstar, or anywhere else. A creature made and held together inside out by pure dark shadow, with eyes steamingly glowing white and cracks of this white energy seeping through said shadow. It appeared to be a human woman in some sort of noble's pantsuit, bare feet, and made a lot of gestures silently, really creepily, and a lot of demands from what little facial features you could see. Axes, all this stuff, didn't do a lot of good. The wizards, the casters come forward, start talking about using light. They used light. It kind of shunned it, and they're working on a theory about something else. And then suddenly this woman reached through you and grabbed, it felt like death, and started pulling darkness out of you further and further and further while striking you. And you felt negative energy. It felt like dying. You felt weak. You felt all the, not anger from your barbarian class, but you felt all the hunger, your side condition, start to dwindle, as if she had pulled that hunger, that problem you have, right from out of you. And then you fell unconscious and you didn't awake. It was like suddenly you had lost your memories. You didn't know who you were, what you were, where you were, and you're looking down at the body of a man that you feel is connected to you. This master who pulls you back from these fuzzy living creatures, demands that you attack them, and you do. They grab this body that somehow soulfully you feel connected to, and they start running with it and twisting your master's objective. You do pursue them, you do attack them, but you stayed with the body, sensing that if you lost it, so much of you would be lost. They attacked, they flailed, you defended yourself, and then they brought piercing light on a stick against you and against her, or at least you, I believe, and that burned and caused you to flee. But not before you felt a long, slow absence of something while they had fled and left you with the body. They emerged to you moments later, in time, quite some time actually, in real time, attacked you with this light and caused you to fled. They hurt you with this light. You fled directly through walls. Your plane of existence, the ethereal plane, isn't like the material plane. There are no solid objects here. The best way I can describe your existence is, have you guys seen Stranger Things? There's the little psychic girl 11. And when she goes all psychic, there's just this darkness with like a 1/4 inch of water, and she walks around with it, and people just sort of appear randomly, like a conversation that she can focus in on, and she can go towards it, that kind of thing. This is what your existence is like now, creature. I'm calling Corey. You retreated. You went back. Your master scolded you, was not pleased, but when she struck you in disgust, you felt somewhat healed. And being more tactical than merciful, she let you rest and gave you some of her own malice and energy, which poured into you, which fed you, which reignited this hunger. You are this hunger. Everything else of you is lost, and you hate the light, and you hate these creatures. No, you hunger for these creatures that brought the light against you. And now you sit and you wait. You pursued them as far as you could, but if you pursue them upwards, they go towards the giant ball of light in the sky, which will diminish you, which will kill you. You must stay here, where it is dark, where you can recuperate, where you can draw upon the negative energy of your master, and you can sort out your existence. Because she does not constantly order you around 360, and she seems bound to an area where you are not. You can go anywhere, just not up, just not towards a light. Cognual, you got a little money with Dubsy for bringing back body number 4. You had the original deal. Okay. Our female guild member said she thought you were dead and had to broker a new deal for her people. It's just business, nothing personal. Hope you understand. However, since both of you have come back, old client and new client, and have brought me my missing foe, I won't double the money, but I suggest you split it, and I will add some coins so it's an even split. Does that sound fair?
That is fair.
What about you, little man? Dubsy?
Yeah, I guess that's okay.
Okay. So, with 15 fresh silver each, Dubsy immediately invests in real estate. Don't get me into it. Like, the guy heard something about, I have a swamp in Florida, but he's paying himself and he gets interest. It's complicated. He's his own client and agent. We won't touch that. So we'll focus on Cognual, who has money. It still runs back to the temple. It still runs back to the temple. Shall we say
we're
this?
Not buying a timeshare.
We play out that full day and bring you two back to where Dubsy's with the party and Cognual has had time to bathe, shave, whatever you want to do, and studying in the temple. Weapon replacements. I know you're a living weapon.
Absolutely. So am I to assume that the only coin that I have is 15 silver?
Yeah, because they found you, the Morlocks took everything off of you. Every weapon, every item, they left you in rags. But you're a living weapon.
It was the Morlocks.
They even have your book of Torag. You did not have time to get it.
This is not making me very happy, camper.
However, the word of Torag is written and repeated. You can go buy yourself another book. Unless you're taking it personally, that they took your book and you put your initials in the back of it, or it was inscribed from Big T to Little Guy, something like that, sure. But as far as your powers are concerned, back at the library, fork out a little money, brand new book of Torag, keep your reading, keep your powers up, that's not a problem. But personally, that's up to you.
I believe that I need to restore... I need a weapon, of course, of some sort. Did they pilfer my clan dagger?
Yeah.
Oh, very angry.
Maybe Cognual will rejoin the party sooner than later.
That is not happy camper-like. That is a once-in-a-lifetime family heirloom.
Let's stay with Cognual for now, since we've got Gauze is caught up as far as I can, if you're taking my hints and meaning there.
Absolutely.
So maybe it won't leave you researching. Maybe that's the halfling's job. Eventually come the end of the day, unless there's some...
Let's see, what shall we do? I'm stuck on this missing clan dagger that they have disappeared. Makes me very angry, but I do need to replace. I cannot have a weapon. Or not have a weapon. let's replace.
I'll let you shop in between, unless you want to specifically go somewhere that sells weapons and try to get a deal.
Oh, shopping in between, I think, will be okay.
Okay.
I cannot feel very naked without my clan dagger.
How do you feel about the Book of Torag? Obviously very upset about the clan dagger. Gotta go back?
Yes, in my book, that is my life. It is what I do. That should be so many things.
Fast forward a week where he's researching, right? And Troy brings, the sage. So I found this dagger, and I'm letting you look at it first. I changed my mind. I think it's dwarvish. Can you confirm this? You never saw it again.
You never saw it again. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's irreplaceable. Do you know that they actually used that dagger to cut your umbilical cord? And it was kept in trust with your parents? It was forged when Mom got pregnant. It was gifted to your parents the day you were born. And your father cut your umbilical cord with that clan dagger. I'm not making this up. This is in Galorian lore.
No, I do believe you, good sir. This was mine from birth. At some point, someone will pay.
Now, on the other hand, they have clan weapons in Alkenstar, where they fire off in the air. Yeehaw! I have a child. Bang, bang. And gun is given to parents so that, the 12-year-old child can inherit a gun. Right? And I'm thinking of, gender reveal, Yeah, it's always black soot. It's a dwarf. What? Simple. Not a baby dwarf, They don't care. They're dwarves. They don't care. They're just happy the kid lived. Birth rates in dwarves are low. So they don't care if it's a guy or a girl. All they care about is that, more dwarves. Actually, I think there'd be more celebration a woman over a man because the men do outnumber the women in dwarven society 5-1 or something. So that's why you always see dwarves on the road. They're pissed off.
We're angry people.
They got to work through 4 other dudes just to get a date. You'd be sour too.
Damn straight. That's why we drink so much.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think in between my studying, I will replace my Book of Torag, and no monk should be without a staff.
Okay. Then I will say, as Ken gets us away from this moron, and you guys wander around the town doing other shopping just for spite, it is there in the downtown marketplaces that you guys run into Cognul and are Kragga and Cognul. I've been waiting for this bromance to rekindle because Corey missed, every time Spiegler showed up, Corey wasn't there kind of thing. So Kragga, you spot him, trying to shake down your friend, the blacksmith, again. Run towards him. What do you do?
Oh, I picture the scene on the beach. Oh, very lovely lady running across the beach. Oh, my friend, my friend.
First he sees you, and they do the gauze lens and the light, and it's like Cognul's glowing. Standing out amongst the crowd. It's him.
No way, you're alive.
You dragged his ass out of the dungeon.
Now remember, I didn't recognize him in all the muck and the.
Oh, okay,
darkness.
That's hilarious. I got pulled a dwarf out. I thought it was you. It wasn't you.
I didn't realize that was you.
My good friend Kragga, no one can smite my demise.
Where's your dagger?
Oh,
Okay, that's hurtful, dude.
that, my friend, is a very touchy subject. Someone is going to pay, and if you're not careful, I will kick you in the shins.
Dude.
Don't worry, I'll be there to help them. I'll make them pay when you find them.
Kragga,
You weren't
my friend.
metagaming. I would give you a hero point for that. But that's too meta, sorry. I'm sorry, please continue. I don't want to...
Oh,
Yeah, I was in the same situation. I woke up in the darkness and the Morlocks had taken everything that I owned. I used my tusks to get out of there when I met these guys.
I'm not sure that I even remember everything that happened.
Yeah, give it time.
See, there you go, Spiegler. Now that's good. I like that. He didn't show up for the fucking game, but his character is role-playing going, it was all foggy. So, you see the difference between what he's doing and what you're doing? Sorry, keep going.
You're on focus, Jeff.
Yeah, because I'm glowing and I'm on the gauze lens.
Oh, on the gods. Do you remember anything that happened?
Other than waking up to like the lock being open and the Morlocks were fighting against the party you see me standing with now, and I joined the fight.
Must have been quite the fight. I'm sad that I have missed it.
Like I said, I used my tusks. That's all I had on me to get out of there. Well, to help them defeat the Morlocks anyways. It was
Very
quite the
good.
battle.
Very good, sir. Tell me, who are your friends?
Well, this is Kragga, the half-orc I call brother.
Cogno, pleasure to meet you. Any friend of Kragga's? Friend of mine.
Very good, sir. We shall adventure.
And then this little guy down here is Dubsy.
You took 15 gold from me, but I respect that.
This guy took 15 gold from you.
He's
Kragga?
talking to you.
Yes, this big ugly guy with the tusk, he took 15 gold from you.
You delivered a body to one of the rogue people, and they gave you gold, and you gave me half back. And I don't know, 50-50 doesn't sound right to me, but I respect it.
You should kick him in the shins.
He knows. He's just going to constantly blame Kragga until you're convinced that you're wrong about the fact that he... This is how Cogno rolls, man. He just keeps repeating himself until you agree. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It was him. It was him. It was him.
Thievery roll, go.
Give me your office, Mayor. It's very shiny. Give me your black. Give me your
Laura,
black.
why are you being so quiet over there?
Just listening, my friend.
One tells stories. You must be careful.
Two old friends catch up. It's best not interrupting. You know, you guys haven't seen each other in a long time. He barely knows us, so you two catch up.
Maybe
Enjoy.
this guy's a smart guy.
A couple of young, handsome, pretty adults walk by Ken, give him a sly wink in the know, male and female, you know. A very recognizable
And
wink.
nod back.
Yeah. This is what I think he's doing while you guys are all chatting. He's just like, hey, yeah, Tuesday. All right.
Praying.
You and me, yeah.
They like short, fat, bald guys?
There's pleasures in all the flesh, my friend.
Excuse me. Excuse me, Master Kenro? You turn around and there's barely 20 summers.
Yes.
You know, doesn't even have a beard of a waif of a lad wearing Saren Ray acolyte robes. I found your sermon very, very intriguing. And I wanted to know more about the plug that you talked about. And he starts making a cranking motion towards his backside and the chain, and he makes the sort of supplement handcuff motion at him and the silk and the wax and the items that we use for prayer, but you said had other uses. I'm intrigued.
My friend. All uses are forms of prayer if you use them correctly. But I think you should start slow. If you take in all the pleasures of the flesh at once, my friend, you'll be overwhelmed and won't know what you're feeling. You might even not enjoy any of it.
Okay. He cocks his head like he didn't even realize you were talking about like making the connection. Because your Kenro was full of innuendo, you know, really sticking it to the Saren Rayo and working all this stuff, and it's gone right over the young lad's head, right? And he's thinking about everything you mentioned. It's like, yeah, well, we pull the chains to open the gates, and we use the candles for prayer, and blah 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 blah. Comes up and he asks you directly, and it goes right over his head, dude. So now you talk about pleasure of the flesh. He gets it. It all hits him at once, and he turns bright red, but he doesn't leave. Just saying. Anyway.
Words don't need to be said, my friend. The color of your flesh already tells me what you're thinking. And if you liked what the sermon was about, All you have to do is explore. It's about you more than anything I say.
You could send him after your advanced acolyte to just walk by you to tell him, tell him the password's unicorn. Whatever.
That's too easy a password.
That's true.
No.
Kragga. Cognual, who mumbled something about rest, prayer, and healing, since you dragged him out of there, is now washed. Simple spun robe, but, functional for combat. Yes, gone are the big spindles and plates, but the top knot's back, his hair's all up, he's not a big shaggy mess, so you recognize him, right? Watch this. Hey, Cognual, take your top knot out and look like a regular dwarf and watch Kragga freak out that you vanished. Invisibility.
Hey, so Cognual, I know it's the last thing you probably want to do, but we could use your help going back into the dungeon and fighting the darkness down there.
The darkness. It can be a scary place, but I think I am ready. Shall we go?
That's what I like to hear, and I slap him on the back.
Before my friends, we go to the darkness, though, we all need the light. And not Saren rays. And I cast light on Kragga's. Would you have a hammer or what are you using for a weapon?
Yeah, hammer.
A hammer? And I cast light on the hammer. And then any of our other friends, maybe we could find our little gnomish friend to help us again with this, to cast some light on our weapons.
Hello?
Grogtot comes staggering over to you guys.
Hey guys, what's going on? What?
Standing before you is Grogtot, wearing rags. He looks filthy. He looks like he's been burned, and he's wide-eyed and does not quite look like he's comprehending where he is, or who exactly is in front of him. And we will see you all next time.
What?
Told you I'd get Joe for a cameo.
That's fucking great.
I didn't know I was...
Warlock cast arcane gate because we need an escape. This magic weapon refused to turn the tide. It breathes by all of its saints. Who cares if we're a disgrace? In just one shove, our wizard rolled death and fell. Tell me what we'd brawl this thing. Too many limbs that sting. All of us played food for its spawn. Up our XP and then we'll bring new dice for the slaying. A pretty mix, blue, black, and gold. Rolling higher, love. Oh, tell me not to give up. Provoke me, haste me, faster dash. Returning, churning, savage attack. The character is so cozy, buckets of dice. You know me, I'm gonna write all these actions down. Blowing bubbles below, see camping next to coyotes.